What's good, everybody? It's BeginTheUprising here. This is going to be movie of the week for February 28th of 2011. As you can see, we got Forrest Gump. Nah, not really though. We're going to go ahead and do that for you. There we go. That's better for y'all. Anyway, this is going to be card of the week for February 28th of 2011. And sorry that I keep on uploading these like a day or two late, but you know, if you guys are really hassling about that, just get over it or something. Anyway, like I said, this is going to be card of the week for February 28th of 2011. This one is not really going to, you know, no one's not really going to see this card coming as card of the week. But, you know, I feel like that a lot of people underestimate this card and they overlook it. And it's a really good card. I think there's like a possible two ways around it, and I'll explain those here in the video, but we'll go ahead and get to the card. It's Vennominaga, the deity of poisonous snakes. Let's see. 10-star dark. There you go, just got the snake as arms. So you got snake as hair. Oh. Can't see. Yeah, there you go. Boobies. Let's see. Why is this camera kind of suck right now? There we go. Came out Tactical Evolution as the hardest. I think, in my opinion, it was the hardest secret to pull out of the set because this card was very, very short printed. And it's a reptile with 0 attack and 0 defense. And you see that it's very, very fine printed. So I'm just gonna pick up the card. I'm gonna read it for you guys. Okay. This card cannot be normal summon or set. This card cannot be special summoned except with its own effect or with Rise of the Snake Deity. This card gains 500 attack for each reptile monster in your graveyard. This card cannot be targeted and is unaffected by the effects of other monsters, spells, and traps. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can remove from play one other reptile monster from your graveyard to special summon this card. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, place one Hyper Venom counter on it. When 3 Hyper Venom counters are on this card, you win the duel. You win the duel. Right there. Has its own win condition in it. Okay. So I wanted to make this card of the week because this is an absolute amazing card. Okay? Now, I don't really use the word broken a lot, but there's only a few cards that I really think are broken, and this is going to be one of the cards I actually think is the quote-unquote broken. You get this card on the field. First of all, you need to have a card called Vennominaga, the king of poisonous snakes, and you have him on the field, which is not all that hard. If you have a good deck, it's really not hard at all to get Vennominaga on the field. Okay, so you get Vennominaga on the field, and then if it's destroyed somehow, you activate this trap card called Rise of the Snake Deity. Right? I'm just going to start. Yeah, Rise of the Snake Deity. Right there. And it brings out Vennominaga from your hand or from your deck. Whenever this card is on the field, it's not going to leave. It's pretty much simple as that. Whenever this card's on the field, it's not going to leave the field. If they want to destroy it by battle somehow, like if they want to do like, if they want to like attack into it and run over it with Honest or something like that, like destroy it by battle, okay. So that's the only time it's ever going to leave the field. But with its own effect, you can remove and play another reptile monster from your graveyard to special summon this card back on the field. So the only way possible it can get off the field is if you saw him, like, hold on, that's another story. The only way you can get this off the field is if you destroy it by battle, if you run over it, and if that even happens somehow, some way, you activate its effect to special summon it back. So the only way you can get it off the field is by battle, and even then, it can come right back out. Not to mention, it can't even be targeted by anything, by any monster effects. It can't be targeted by monster effects, it can't be targeted by spells, it can't be targeted by traps, and it can't be targeted, and it's unaffected by other monster effects, other spells, and other traps. So say like level limit area B is face up on the field, and it switches all over 4 higher to defense mode. It's not even affected by that, so you can say it stays in attack mode. Gravity Bind level 4 or higher monsters can't attack. Vennominaga can attack because it's unaffected by other spells or traps. That's another great thing about it. That's why it's underestimated. I mean, this card, if you can get it off, this card's going to stay on the field, I promise you. Not only is it unaffected by everything, and there's pretty much no way to get it off the field, it has its own win condition in it. Is whenever it does battle damage to your opponent, you place a counter on it. Whenever it has 3 counters on it, you automatically win the duel. Tell me that's not the 3 most, like, possible most broken things you can have in a card. Can't be targeted and is unaffected by everything in the game. Has 500 attack points for each reptile in your graveyard. There's a card that combos are very good with this. It's called Snake Rain. And what you do is you discard a card from your hand to send 4 reptiles from your deck to the graveyard. So it's pretty much like a Foolish Burial on steroids for reptiles. So let's say as the cost for Snake Rain, you discard a card from your hand, you discard a reptile from your hand, and then you send 4 other reptiles from your deck to the graveyard. That's 2,500 attack points right there off of 1 Snake Rain. So if you run multiple copies of Snake Rain, you're going to have this like at least at 5,000 attack power. So how they're going to run over it, I don't know. But how they're gonna run over it, I don't know. But I'm sure they're gonna find a way somehow. I'm sure Honest is gonna come in that solution somewhere. And every time it inflicts battle damage, it gets a counter and then it wins whenever it has 3. So with 5,000 attack points, it's really hard to not take battle damage from this, especially if it's unaffected by spells like Book of Moon or like Mirror Force and Deep Prison and stuff like that. So the only ways to even stop this card is if you stop it on its initial summon, or if you stop the trap card that summons it. So if you Solemn like the Rise of Snake Deity, that's pretty much it. You know, you're not really gonna get this out. Or if you Warning Rise of Snake Deity, it's not gonna come out. That's why I don't really suggest this card being played in today's format, because even though Warning's at 2, it's still gonna be out there. Judgment can stop it. Even a simple Trap Stone, because Trap Stone's going to be very, very good, very, very heavy this format. Trap Stone's going to shut down this deck. If you can like destroy it somehow, and then you can do Rise of Snake Deity, all they need to do is just go Trap Stone, and then that's it. But if you do manage to get this card out, it's either your opponent's going to scoop to you, or you're gonna win by default. I mean. It's really hard to get this off the field. If it does go to the graveyard, let's say they destroy it by battle, they run into it with Honest, and then you activate its effect, and then they crow it. Crow and Solemn Warning is pretty much the only thing that stops this card whenever it's on the field. But other than that, I don't suggest you playing reptiles. For anybody playing reptiles in today's metagame. It's just the deck is not good enough. It needs a lot of time to set up. But whenever it does get this off, it's pretty much like auto win for you. This is going to be the card of the week for February 28th. Tomorrow starts the March format. So I'll conclude with that weird ass thing coming out of her arm, whatever. But go check out eBay. See how much this card goes for. It's actually a pretty penny. If you don't believe me, go on eBay, check it out. It's going to be card of the week, Vennominaga, the deity of poisonous snakes. Peace out, you guys.